Stop talking about race. It's annoying. I don't see color. I don't care if you're black, white, yellow, or purple. I'm moving my kids to the suburbs. I just don't want... Yeah, no, I don't have any problem with them. I just don't want us to really be around them. There's nothing wrong with separating us. You know, we're still equal. It's just separate. I don't think it's fair what they're doing, but I'm not going to say anything because it benefits me. I didn't support slavery. I didn't own anybody, but I also kind of miss the days when we didn't have to work so hard. I don't think it's right how they're being treated, but also at the same time, God did say that white people have dominion over everyone else. This is how the white moderate has evolved over time, from being complicit in the system of slavery to being complicit when and Jim Crow happened, to not saying a word when there was segregation, to now where we are at. So I don't see color, let's not talk about race, is dangerous because it enables violence. For every white person asking why I make my content, why I'm so obsessed with race, that's why.
What's up, family? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching my clips from. Welcome back to my YouTube space. Welcome. Returning subscribers, I love you so much. I love you so much, and you are the reason why I'm here and talking to you today. The new subscribers, you are the reason why I'll continue to be here. So you all make sure you subscribe on my my YouTube channel. Now, today's topic, it's gonna be real, very real. We are about to talk something about that is uncomfortable. A lot of people, and honestly, I don't care if it makes people uncomfortable, but a lot of people will feel comfortable about this topic. I'm here to deal with truth and not comfort. And the truth that I'm going to talk about today is about the white people, some of them, who are talking the truth, okay? And we should appreciate the white people who come out and defend black people. Genuinely, the white people who come out and talk about the real situation that's going out in the black family, and try to educate their own about what's going on. Try to open to us what they do in the hidden rooms, in the dinner table, what they do as white people. It's really amazing. For me, I always like that. It's not that I don't hate all white people, because if I hate all white people, I will not be getting the inside information. So this is what I'm gonna talk to you today. There is some videos of white people I'm going to present to you. I want you to listen to them, revealing their secrets. And I think they must be, they can be banished, yeah? They can be cancelled even by telling this truth then to the world. But who am I? As Kenyan Beast, I am the beast, and I'm here to reveal everything. So yes, I'm talking about white folks who are willing to admit about racism, white supremacy, white privilege, and everything that is going on. Let's watch these clips, and then we come back. We do always click the subscription button.
Although it may be shocking, a lot of racists genuinely believe they are good people, and here are the top 5 ways they try to convince themselves it's true. Number 1, when they're called out, instead of taking accountability for their actions, they simply blame the person who accused them. They didn't do anything wrong. In fact, the other people are being sensitive and they are a good person, so therefore they can't possibly say anything racist. Number 2, by leaning heavily into cognitive dissonance. You don't know, cognitive dissonance is when you have 2 conflicting beliefs and that creates discomfort in someone. So they have to either change one of their 2 beliefs that they can coexist without the person feeling overwhelmed. So instead of being like, oh, I am racist, I should stop being racist, they're like, oh, actually, I am a good person and what I said wasn't racist, so that they can balance it out. Number 3, by leaning on their racist friends for validation. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. Number 4, by blaming woke culture as a whole for the reason that they have been called out, because they couldn't possibly do anything wrong. It must be a societal problem. And number 5, by playing into the reverse racism myth. Not only am I not racist, but actually you are being racist to me as a white person, because that is the real problem in society. Bye.
Black people do not owe you anything. They don't owe you an education, they don't owe you a reading list, and they certainly do not owe you their Sunday afternoon to go to your protest march. They don't owe you a thank you for doing what you should already be doing, which is being a compassionate, empathetic human being. And perhaps most of all, they don't owe you a warm, fuzzy feeling for saying you're an ally or that you're one of the good ones.
Hi, my name's Kylie, and here are the top 5 phrases that white people use to indicate they are a closeted racist. I was raised around a lot of racist white people, and so these are the phrases that people would use in public, and then in private they would be incredibly racist. Number 1, I'm not racist, I treat everybody the same. And although they treat everyone the same, they are the people who often spew the most racist and hateful stereotypes in private. Number 2, I just care about the economy. No, you only care about preventing black, brown, queer, or disabled people from accessing healthcare, and then you go home to your white family and your white kids and you start start saying slurs and convincing your kids why they shouldn't marry a person of color. Number 3, I don't like identity politics. Oh, you mean when it's not about you? Because whiteness is already centered in every other aspect, so the one time it's not, you get mad. Number 4, why does everything have to be about race? Because everything is about race. Because quite literally anything that you can think of in America is rooted in race. Tipping culture, the naming of streets, gentrification. And number 5, I just think people should follow the law. You mean the law that is inherently racist and that criminalizes blackness or that has banned indigenous practices and celebrations? Right. White supremacy relies on having an uneducated population, and that is exactly what Trump's administration in the White House is creating today. Anti-intellectualism isn't just concerning because individuals don't know how to read or write at a high level. It's concerning because they don't know how to recognize patterns that are happening in society. They don't want you to recognize the historic danger of banning books or realize that in 2023 alone, more than 3,000 books were banned, mostly about sexuality, race, and gender. They don't want you to recognize that erasing history is dangerous, like how Florida changed slavery to involuntary relocation, or that the GI Bill that built the American middle class, including my family, excluded Black veterans. Why? Because if you understood the way that racism is built into the foundation of this country, you would demand change. You would have to if you have any sort of conscience. From education to housing to policing, go back 30, 50, 70, 90 years and the pattern is all there. White supremacy needs you to be uneducated and complacent in your current status. So what is the most radical thing that you can do today, especially as a white person? Get educated, read a book, stop dismissing critical race theory as woke propaganda and actually look at the foundation of what we are saying and you will literally be shocked. Here are 6 words that you use every day that have racist origins. Although these words might seem harmless, they are rooted in a long history of oppression and racism in the US. Number 1, nitpicky. This refers to enslaved people were forced to pick nits or lice out of other people's hair. It was a very dehumanizing task. Number 2, gyp. This is actually related to the word gypsy, which is a slur for Romani people. Number 3, no can do. This was originally a sentence or term used to mock Asian Americans, primarily Chinese immigrants, to make fun of their accent. Number 3, uppity. This was a term used to describe Black people who were typically seen as too confident, and it was definitely an insult that preceded violence against Black people. Number 4, the peanut gallery. This term refers to in segregated theaters when Black people had to sit in the worst, cheapest seats in the house. And finally, we have the term grandfathered in, which is in reference to when Black people were forced to take literacy tests in order to vote, aka a form of voter suppression. White people who had been grandfathered in the right to vote did not have to take these tests. So if you're a white person, please stop using these things. Peace and love. Despite making up 13% of the population, Black people commit more than 50% of crimes. Number 1, shut up. Number 2, the statistic is racist. And number 3, I'm going to explain why to other white people who are stupid to not understand what this means. Number 1, Black communities are heavily over-policed, meaning they are more likely to be targeted by police officers than people who are, say, white. The second reason, white people have more connections to police officers around the country, meaning that if they are arrested, it's easier for them to get off and have nothing on their record. The third reason is that if you don't know this, the CIA actually did introduce drugs to low-income Black areas. Not to mention, the first police department in America was designed to be a, quote, slave patrol to bring an enslaved person back to that plantation. So if you have any critical thinking skills at all, you would understand it's not that Black people commit more crimes, it is that they are arrested, prosecuted, and treated inhumanely to the point that they are vastly overrepresented in our prison system. My name's Kylie, and this is how hatred is taught in a lot of white families. If you've ever wondered how can people grow up and be so hateful or just so out of touch, this is how. A lot of the time, hatred is silent and insidious, and it teaches white people to be complicit in racism and other types of bigotry. For instance, if you do want to have a conversation about race or something else, your parent might quickly shut you down and say, oh, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about these types of things. That is how white people are socialized to be so unbelievably selfish and honestly ignorant of racism despite being the perpetuators of it, despite literally creating the system. That's why I said in a previous video that our knowledge of racism is like honestly like children, because we are not taught to discuss these things, right? That's why white people get so defensive, because they hit their 20s and 30s and for the first time they're being called out. That combined with scarcity thinking, they're taking our jobs, there's not enough for the rest of us. That ignorance is what creates hatred. For the most part, the white moderate is the truly dangerous people, because they're not the full-blown extremists, but they're the people just in the middle that allow these types of comments and honestly racist practices to continue. If you grew up and you were taught to be nice and not question the status quo, you were taught to be complicit in systems like racism, transphobia, and homophobia.
This might be a hot take, but I don't see color is not a good thing. A lot of white people use this as an excuse to prove that they're not racist, when in reality, they're actually demonstrating that they have zero cultural competence. Everyone is different. Everyone comes from different cultural backgrounds, has different religious practices, family traditions, and other aspects of their life that make them unique. It is almost, to me, a way of forcing assimilation. You're saying, I don't care what you look like as long as you conform to these standards. And that's typically the way that I see it used by when white people say this. But the second someone starts to act like the stereotype of what people think of, then that becomes a problem. Wearing traditional regalia from your country, or speaking in your native language, or making traditional food from your culture, those things become issues because you are not assimilating in the way that white people expect. So when they say, I don't see color, they absolutely do, but they will ignore the fact that you look different if you assimilate. The goal is to be like, I do see you, I recognize you're different from me, but that's okay, and I accept everyone's differences. We all are unique and bring very interesting things to the table. Peace and love. Hi, I'm Kylie, and here are the top 5 ways that hatred is passed on in white families. This is definitely a topic that not a lot of white people like to talk about because they prefer to stay race neutral, or at least not air their dirty laundry in public, but I do have some things that I want to say. The first way that white people pass on hatred to their kids is literally at the dinner table. I can't even tell you how many times I'd be at another white person's house growing up, and their mom or dad would say something racist and look to their kid like they made a joke and wait for the kid to react. So in that way, the racist remark serves almost as a point of bonding between the parent and the child. The second way that it's passed on is in sports, especially if a white family or a white team is playing against a team that is primarily people of color. White people will say racist things. Did you see that defender? She was really aggressive, and other microaggressions that get passed on to the child. The third way is by discouraging their children from being friends with people of color because of certain innate qualities that they may have. Number 4, moving their kids to an all-white suburb. Number 5, praising celebrities and politicians that are racist.
These are some things that white people say about Asian people in private. If you're a person who falls into this demographic, you might have heard these things before, but if you're a white person, stop fucking saying these things. Number 1, the Chinese food boycott by white people during the COVID pandemic. Yeah, I know of many white people who will still not eat Chinese food ever since the pandemic because they are convinced that somehow eating Chinese food is supporting China, or that they're going to somehow contract the virus through the food because of the connections that they have. Number 2, saying that Asian people smell bad. This is a very pervasive myth among white conservative people, specifically referring to South Asian people. Number 3, not knowing the difference between the different languages in Asia and just referring to anyone who looks remotely Asian as Chinese. Number 4, refusing to visit any country in Asia, whether it's Japan, Thailand, etc., because it is either dirty or because they don't want to support the enemy. Number 5, assuming that any Asian person who has had a successful career cheated because of the way Asian people are raised to be very intelligent, definitely rooted in race. I'll be making more of these videos in the series, so comment if you have any other ones that you think I've forgotten.
Welcome back. One thing straight here is not all white people are racist. It is true. Sometimes when I talk like this, I see my black brothers, some of them are like, don't get too close to them. I know that. Understand that. I will not fall for the bait. I will not fall for their tears. I will not fall for the fake smile. I will not fall for anything. I know. But reality is not all white people are racist. I'm not about to generalize like that. I'm not generalizing like that, okay? But let's not pretend like the majority of white people didn't benefit daily or does not benefit daily from a system that was designed to put them above us. Even those black people or even those white people who are not racist, they still benefit from the system that is oppressing black people. They are still benefiting from the system that have made them to be above. When you talk about job disparities, as a white person, even if you are not racist, you cannot quit the job just because you are white, just because of your color. Even if the other black person is getting low and you are high and you are not expected to get that. And if you are a primary school dropout and you are getting high pay than a university black guy or black dude, you are enjoying with the white privilege. So each and every white person in one way or the other is enjoying from the system that is oppressing black people. And here it's what's happening. Some of them have been watching it go down and they are finally decided enough is enough, because most of them, they now know, no, the system is not for all of us. The system is not for all white people too. The system is divided. It's for rich white people. The system is not for everyone. Even poor white people right now and working class, they are crying. When the economy crashes, it crashes for all. The privilege right now, it is not for them. Let's get that straight. So They have been watching the racism in schools, in housing, in the workplace, with the police, and some of them are standing up and saying, yeah, this is real, this is what is happening, this is what our people are doing, and this is why my ancestors built, and it's not right. And they are out here and standing and saying, yeah, black people are right, and they are sure educating their fellow, they are educating their race, they are educating their community. Because even if you realize, but you are not educating your people, you are not calling out your people, you ain't doing nothing. You may not be seeing color, but your brother, your mother, your father is seeing color. Without you educating him or her, you ain't doing anything. But I love the white people who are doing something. And most of them, when they talk, they don't get the support. As soon as they speak out, it's their own people who attack them. They get labeled as traitors, woke, labeled trash, whatever. So they speak out and they endure the burden. Why? Because the one thing white supremacy hates is truth, especially coming from their own, because they have created this system to make their own believe that black people are the problem. When a white person is sick, black people is the problem. When white person is poor, black people have taken your jobs. When white students are failing, black people are the one doing that, because we are concentrating so much in black, and that's why your kids are failing. So they are now understanding this, okay? And let me just give you an example of something that I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about something that I don't know. I have someone in mind. The videos that I played to you, you have seen this. Those are the creators who are speaking here. We have this Time Wise. I don't know if you have come across him. We have Jane Elliott, the blue eye. We have someone like Jane Elliott is the white lady who have been breaking down racism for decades, and she have been telling white folks to their face, don't want equality, you want supremacy or superiority. And we have been seeing this even from South Africa, the issue of South Africa, where black people are trying to reclaim back their land. The equality is creating chaos. Now they are talking about the white what? So we are sure that white people don't want equality. They want to be superior. Another example, look at the social media. The videos I've played to you. White people out here filming police brutality, speaking against gentrification, talking about generational wealth gaps. And what happens? Their own families disown them. Some came out and say, my family has disowned me for doing this. Their friend called them traitors. They get attacked online. So we have this racism inside, things that are being talked behind the camera, in the dinner table, on white families. And these white people who are trying to talk about this, I think they are doing God's job. Huh? But let us be honest. The cost of telling the truth, especially for them, is high. You know, some of these white people, they love everything. Family, friends, career, or they lose everything. Family, friends, career, and opportunities. But you know what's funny? Black people have been paying the price for centuries. That's what's funny. Black people have been losing jobs. Black people have been losing lives. Black people have been losing peace of mind. And more just than for telling the truth about racism. When black person talk about racism, talk about this issue, they lose this. So when a white folk finally feel the heat, it's new to them. It has been daily life for us. And that's why most black people, we don't appreciate these things. You know, if a white person talk, we don't like, it's a big deal, because black people have been losing just for talking, okay? So something good is I'm now seeing the set of white people coming out and talking about these things. And I don't know what's your take on the comment section, because I want to see the reaction of black people. Black people, some of you will support this, and some of you will be like, yeah. But what I like about my black family, when they see a white creator, they will notice the genuine one, and they will ask for his or her handle to follow her, to support her. Because black people, I always say, they are the face of the earth. They are the soul of the party. They are everything. And once they see something good, they will support. It doesn't matter whether it's from white family or black family or Latino family or Asian family. That's how black people are. And talking about this racism in their families, these white people are coming out, it's one thing. But we want to see the actions. For you talking on these things, what next? Are you going to protest with us? Are you going to come out and call the system? What are you going to do? Because just ranting online is not enough. We need something more, something more from white people. But what is that? Each and every white person, even the Jane Elliot, Time was, each and every, they are benefiting from that white privilege. They are. Don't tell me, no one will tell me, no one will convince me that no white person has ever benefited. Look at white South Africans. Right now, those who have gone to America is because of the privilege. Black people have been going through hell. Why didn't Donald Trump or American call black people when they were suffering? But white people, because they are white, they are us, they are for us, let's let them come. So we need to handpick, and we know which white person is talking the truth and which one is just lying because of the views maybe, or because of the online fame. We need to know that, okay? So tell me what you think on the comment section about that video. I think I've ranted enough. Not enough, but I've tried to, okay? Tell me what you think, and until next episode, peace out.